Welcome to another episode of Bargain Saturdays. What was that? Oh, it's this week's movie. I don't want to be too harsh on Life is a Jungle. I mean, this was a movie made on a very, very, very limited budget, so the animation quality was going to be bad, almost guaranteed. The problem is that it's not just the animation that's crap in this movie, it's basically everything. I mean, the movie's poorly paced. It starts out, and it goes so slow, it feels like there's times where there's almost a minute where nothing's being said by anyone. You're like, what's the scene even doing here for? If nothing's going to be happening, you can just cut it. I don't need to see pointless filler and padding. I mean, your movie's 100 minutes long. If you've got a bunch of useless material in there that where nothing's going on, then just cut it. The movie's longer than your standard movie is, and quite frankly, if you're not going to be doing anything with those minutes, get rid of them. I mean, out of the first 10 minutes, I'd say about 8 of them are completely useless filler slash padding. And that's a lot. 80% of your first 10 minutes should not be useless material. It needs to establish things and get us interested in the characters and hook us on what's going on. Otherwise, most people are just going to get up and walk away. Because quite frankly, sitting through half the movie and saying, well, you gotta wait till like the first 30-35 minutes to get to the good stuff. This movie doesn't have that long to catch my attention. I watched it for about 25 minutes or so before I said, enough. This movie's going too slow, there's not enough going on, and there's not enough meaningful material going on to keep my interest. So I stopped watching it, and started jumping forward and caught this scene where these characters were walking through a table. I mean, it's just... Ugh. Bad pacing can just kill your movie, and this movie suffers from it horribly. To make matters worse, it tries to be comedic with sound effects, but the sound effects are so loud, over the top, and don't feel like they fit the situation in some cases, that it literally feels unfunny. It's like they're sucking the life and humor out of you when you watch this movie. And I mean, I know I was mean to Primates of the Seven Seas last week, but I mean, this movie's even worse. And I don't, like I said, I don't want to be too mean to it, because this was done by basically kids right out of college. So you got college graduates in here that just like this is going to be their first project, and it's just bad on their low budget. They just didn't have enough time, I guess, to do good animation work. But it's the story issues and stuff are things that they could have fixed and should have tried to fix. These are issues that could be solved quite well through cutting of useless material, I think. Out of this movie's like 100-minute length, I've been told it has, because I wasn't able to sit through all of it, like I said, I would say almost half of it could probably be cut away and you'd be fine. At least based on my experiences in the first 25 minutes, yes. I'm saying you can cut away almost half of what this movie is, and you'd probably be better off for it. And that really shouldn't be something you should say about a movie, right? You shouldn't be able to say half the movie is useless material. But that's really what this movie is. A lot of wasted material that just doesn't go anywhere. Mostly because there's nothing being said or done. Their characters are just walking or something, but they're not saying anything. On the voice acting side of things, the movie's bad too, but quite frankly, it's not as painful as you'd probably expect, or maybe I'm just used to very bad voice actors at this point, or I have lower expectations for voice acting, so it doesn't bug me as much. I guess that's all I can really say about this movie. It's just bad. I'd say stay away from this movie. I mean, it's almost like torture to try and sit through and watch it. It's like one of those internet challenges you do that just test your willpower. Like, how long can you sit here and watch this crappy movie before you give up? This is the kind of movie they challenge you with. And I can understand why people pan it so hard, and I feel sorry for the people that try to defend it on the grounds that, well, it was meant to be a kids' movie. Like, that's not a good excuse for how bad this movie is. Saying it's just meant to be a dumb little kids' movie is just a cheap cop-out to avoid saying this movie's bad, and it just bugs me when people do that. And it bugged me with Primates of the Seven Seas, too. Saying this movie is for kids is not an excuse for bad entertainment. It just isn't. Until next time, then.